Fable 2! Fable 2 is a game. Fable 2 is a fun game. It's a fun game with quests. A lot of quests. So many quests, you may think to yourself, holy shit, that's a lot of quests. Which ones are the best? Well, that's why I'm here. Number 10! First up on our list of quests is the Summoners. We find two idiots, Sam and Max, who have accidentally summoned a few hundred Hollow Men by reading aloud from the Normonomicon. The retrieval of said books takes us to the Bloodstone Cemetery, where waves of Hollow Men await the slaughter. A total of 100 enemies is stated on the counter, not exactly hundreds, but what the fuck ever. This quest takes the 10th spot on the list because it's just plain violent fun to bust up a bunch of these undead skeletons, and gaining a shitload of XP while doing so doesn't hurt. It's also worth mentioning that this is the first quest with the brothers Max and Sam, who have been a great source of fun quests in the Fable series since. Number 9! Taking the number 9 spot on our list is the side quest Till Death Do Us Part. On Rookridge Road, you'll encounter the spirit of a heartbroken man. His story is one of sadness and revenge. The ghost explains he was once to be married to a beautiful woman named Alex, but on their wedding day she never showed. To help him find peace, he asks you to seek out Alex and make her experience the pain and heartache that he himself still feels.
Maybe you can help me. You have no idea what I've suffered. The pain that still keeps me in this world.
Upon traveling to Bloodstone Market, we find Alex. She goes on to explain her side of the story. She was in love but too young for marriage and is afraid to love once more.
All these people, they look so happy, don't they?
The game wants you to feel the same sympathy that you did for the ghost. Naturally, I did what any sensible man would do. Pantomime caressing her curves until she's dripping wet and ready for marriage. I moved her to a shitty covered wagon in a gypsy camp, every woman's dream. I then returned to the ghost, with my new wife tagging along, just to be a bit of a dick. However, the spirit responds positively, realizing that what he asked of you was wrong.
I'm not mad anymore.
This quest makes the list because the moral decision making is a staple in the Fable franchise, and this one fits right in. Nearly everyone has loved and lost, so maybe the ghost story will speak to you. Or maybe not. Maybe you're just a heartless cunt. Number 8. Number 8 goes to Stranded, by far the eeriest and creepiest quest Fable 2 has to offer. Starting off, locked in a cage, you're greeted by a creepy old man explaining that your dog is most likely dead due to the evil inhabiting the swamp fog.
The banshees inhabit by now.
After he quickly meets his own demise, your four-legged companion returns with the key to your prison. Continuing on, you trek alone through the dank darkness of Wraithmarsh to soon be greeted by Fable's first banshee, which spawns dark minions and chants your worst sins to you. Once that scary bitch has been dealt with, you'll reach a run-down, decrepit version of Fable 1's Oakvale. This is by far one of my favorite touches in the game. Not only is it dark and mysterious, but it helps link the first game and the second game together. Loads of Hollow Men take the scene, even a new one getting its own short cutscene. The fact that it still died in 2 hits, however, definitely took away from its badassery. After slicing up a few more Banshees in Hollow Men, the largest, strongest troll yet appears. This guy is a bit of a magic sponge, but he is no pushover. Finally reaching Bloodstone, you feel a sigh of relief, having just been through another layer of hell. This quest does a fantastic job of throwing a bit of everything at you, and I love it. Number 7. An early quest in the game, the Ritual, steals the number 7 spot. Reaching the entrance to an ancient-looking cave, you find Hammer, a big lady monk, for some reason singing to herself and staring into a bottle of what I'm left to assume is booze. The quest entails escorting Hammer through a cave system, while she fills a giant vase with sacred water for an acorn ritual. Stick with me. There are 3 chambers to visit to completely fill the aforementioned vase. The first chamber has a whole lot of nothing going on. Hammer fills the vase while complaining about how boring a monk's lifestyle is.
You know, this is probably going to be the highlight of my life.
Upon leaving, you're greeted by the first Hollow Men of Fable 2. But muscle back up is why I'm here. Don't worry, Hammer, I got your shit! After fighting your way through the undead skellies, you'll reach chamber number 2. This one is a bit more tricky. Hollow Men make their way toward Hammer as she fills the vase, and it's up to you to keep her safe. Mashing magic here is pretty damn effective. On the path to the third and final chamber, a boss, Headless Hollow Man, appears and swings around like a blind man until defeated.
Wow,
Entering Chamber 3, a gate opens. Another monk enters explaining Hammer's father is in trouble. I just hope I've shown her that murder and violence can be a lot of fun. And she will save him. He dead. She cries. I dance and laugh at the funeral. Number 6. Love Hurts breaks its way to number 6. In Bowerstone Cemetery there lives a lonesome, creepy, introvert graveskeeper. He explains he needs the help of a hero to collect some specimens, quote unquote.
How would you like to assist in this century's most important scientific experiment?
He sends the player to 3 different locations for said specimens, which you quickly learn are the dismembered remains of the lovely yet long-deceased Lady Grey of Fable 1 fame. You'll be sent to the Rook Ridge Hob Cave to collect the legs. Twinblade's tomb and Wraith March for the torso. Twinblade, also of Fable 1 fame. And finally, Lady Grey's tomb in Fairfax Gardens for the head. Once the head has been collected, the experiment is ready to commence. The graveskeeper has set up the remains in some sort of Frankenstein contraption. After confessing his love and understanding of Lady Grey,
You must think I'm some sort of pervert.
he throws the switch to resurrect the dead woman and win her heart. The project goes off just as expected. However, Lady Grey pays no attention to the graveskeeper and shows deep infatuation towards the hero.
You are magnificent.
The graveskeeper begs you to leave, pleading that this is his one chance at true love.
You've got to go!
Naturally, I take the lady for my own, mainly because she's a unique NPC. This quest makes the list because it's a throwback not only to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, but also to Fable 1. It's also just plain fun, adventuring around killing hobs and whatnot. However, the constant loading screens while traveling back and forth get old fast. Number 5. The Spire. Ready to be all we can be and start a glorious military career as part of Lucian's army, we set off on a ship to the dark and mysterious Spire. You're greeted by a stunningly beautiful cinematic that honestly looks like it's from a different game. That alone tells you things are about to get real. Once arriving, you and the other recruits march up the docks like soon-to-be Marines at Paris Island. The atmosphere is very ominous. Even the other recruits say, this place feels wrong.
This place feels wrong.
After being greeted by Lucian and hearing him babble about his philosophies, you'll be ready to work, obeying your commandant by any means or else death. Roaming through the halls, you'll find the hero of Will, Garth, locked away in a prison. He speaks telepathically to you about destroying the obedience collar around your neck that binds you to the Spire.
Your power will do you no good as long as you wear that collar.
After taking a few good beatings from albino Darth Maul for being disobedient, which I do on purpose because I like the pain, we starve a bunch of prisoners, watch some good friends die, and a bunch of time goes by. Hero then decides it's time to leave. Luckily, finding a dead body with tons of weapons and potions just as Garth musters up enough willpower to escape his prison and destroy both yours and his obedience collars.
There. I've removed it.
Now it's time to fuck shit up. Hack and slash your way through guards till you encounter the Commandant. After he dies like a bitch, it's time to get the fuck out. Tons of Spire guards stand between you and freedom. Smacking them around is just plain bloody fun. Finally getting home, your dog and your friends return to you, and you realize 10 years have passed. Old ass fucking dogs aside, this quest feels totally epic. Number 4. Taking the number 4 spot on our list is Treasure Island of Doom! In the Bloodstone pub, you'll meet an old pirate calling himself Salty Jack. After forcing you to buy him a drink, he recants a story of himself being drunken on the seashore and seeing a ghostly figure of Captain Dread by a cave entrance.
It's not fair, I tell you.
Having never heard mention of Captain Dread prior to this, I'm left to assume he's an evil pirate. I also couldn't help noticing that Nicky the nickname guy in the background at the bar. Salty Jack asks us to investigate the cave and take care of Captain Dread. On my way to the cave, a bard got in my way. Being the nice hero that I am, I escorted him out of the living world. Once entering the cave, known as the Sinkhole, you're greeted with a sweet 100-foot dive and the crusty voice of Captain Dread saying, anyone who enters the cave will be cursed. After walking through a series of caves, you'll enter an old tavern, only to be swarmed by ghost pirates. They fight just like bandits, but are funner to kill. Eventually making your way through a series of easy puzzles, you'll enter Captain Dread's quarters. After finding his key and opening his chest, you'll obtain a lever. With said lever, you can now activate an elevator leading to the captain's ship. You're swarmed by waves of ghost pirates and the ghost of Captain Dread himself. It could really use some upbeat swashbuckling pirate music. Making quick work of the notorious captain, I then steal his ship and head to Lion's Head Isle. Shout out to game developers giving shoutouts to themselves. After collecting the island's 10 mostly easy to find treasures, I returned to Bloodstone with the stolen ship, only to be dubbed a legend among pirates. And it feels good. Number 3! Number 3 goes to the hero of skill. Bloodstone is home to many things. Prostitutes, drunks, scammers, you name it. Even rich, pompous, gun-wielding dickheads, like Reaver. After visiting him at his home to recruit his help to save Albion, he gives you a strange seal and asks you to drop it off at the Shadow Court, before he will lend his hand. On the way there, Teresa explains that the Shadow Court destroyed Oakvale, and Reaver is not letting on to the dangers of his task.
There is more to this task than Reaver lets on.
Even before reaching the Shadow Court, you're met by hollow men and one monster of a banshee. After slicing through, you'll reach the locked door to the Shadow Court, using the seal to unlock it. Once inside the dark caverns, a woman is heard crying. Not one to be bothered by this, I take time to break secret walls and loot chests before pursuing the noises. The entire place is swarming with shadow forms of nearly every enemy in the game, which gives the quest a bit of variety. Eventually, you'll find the source of the cries. A young, scared woman stands alone on the edge of a balcony. She begs you for your help, explaining that she read from an old book and mysteriously woke up there.
Just want to go home.
3 large shadowy men appear across the way and do a lot of welcoming.
Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
They explain that they honor a bargain in which whoever holds the dark seal will lose their youth so that Reaver may keep his own. Given the choice of growing old or handing it off to the scared young lady, I very quickly lobbed that sucker over to her.
What? No.
After she turns old and gray, I thought it was only appropriate to use the kiss my ass expression and head back to Bloodstone, where Reaver shoots his photographer and compliments my bad deeds.
And looking as youthful and spirited as ever.
This quest makes the list because it throws some new and interesting enemies and story elements at you while facing you with a choice that could permanently alter your appearance. It's the Fable way. Number 2! The number 2 spot belongs to Bloodstone Assault.
All right, what exactly was that?
I'll be honest, this quest sat at the number 1 spot on my list for a good while. This quest picks up immediately after the Hero of Skill quest. Bloodstone is under attack by Lucian's guards looking to find Reaver. Reaver calmly escorts you and himself into an escape tunnel to flee the city. Things start off calm as you meander through the dank wine cellar environment as Reaver spouts off about his sexual escapades.
That's right, I was consorting with Ursula.
Eventually, entering a large cavern, Spire guards start pouring out of every orifice. This quest is one of the only times that the game designers really want you to use your guns. Most of the enemies spawn high up and shoot down at you, all while standing around conveniently placed red barrels. And they go boom. Spire guards will try to make their way down to you, giving you a perfect opportunity to eliminate them with magic or with melee combat if they get too close. It's one of the only times in the game I really felt the need to mix up combat types. This is something Fable 2 needed more of. After traversing a few more tunnels and exploding more red barrels than I can count, you'll make your way to the surface on Smuggler's Beach, only to be greeted by Garth and Hammer. It feels great after playing the game for so long to finally have all 4 heroes together. The moment is soon cut short as a giant shard shows up to fuck it all up. After destroying the hordes of Spire guards it throws at you and spamming blades at the shard, it disintegrates and Teresa shows up to say more blind lady things. Number 1! The number 1 quest in Fable 2 is the Crucible. This quest takes place as a form of admission to enter the Tattered Spire. Only those who can best the brutal 8 waves of combat may join Lucian's army. The waves go as follows. Wave 1, Beetles. Wave 2, Hobbs. Wave 3, Sorcerer Hobbs. Wave 4, oh shit. Wave 4, Hollow Men. Wave 5, Bandits. Wave 6, Highwaymen. Wave 7, Valverines. And Wave 8, Dickhead Hob Summoning Rock Troll Guy. Every wave has its own par time to complete it by. Perfecting all 8 waves will result in special rewards like the Chopper. Ooh. Once completing all 8 waves, you're greeted by applause and praise. It feels good! There are many reasons why this quest takes the number 1 spot on the list. It's an excellent source of XP and gold, it creates a game within the game, and it shoves those par times in your face and tries to light a fire under your ass. But the biggest reason this quest is so great is that it's replayable. There is no limit to how many times you can challenge the Crucible. Whether you just want to grind for XP and money or you want that fucking chopper, the Crucible will be there for you, and I fucking love it. So, I hope you enjoyed this list. I did. And hey, subscribe because I'll do more in the future.